Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
That's right. I am Pat Gray. Some people call me Maurice. Some call me the Doctor of Love.
Do they call you? I call you the Gangster of Love.
Either the Gangster of Love?
Yeah, not the Doctor, but whatever. It's fine.
No, that's right. It is mostly gangster. Sometimes it's Doctor of Love, but mostly Gangster of Love.
Okay, good. I don't feel so bad.
You know, some call me the Space Cowboy, but doesn't matter because I speak of the pompous of love.
Right.
That's
who you
just
are.
the way it is. That's who I am. I can't help it. You know.
That's how you roll.
Just how I roll. Yo, all up in here. Welcome to all birthing people, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, we're just trying to be all inclusive.
Thank you.
Of whom we're not sure, because people other than women who've given birth over the course of humanity,
Right.
that number is exactly, carry the one, none, zero. Zero people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So we're including, other than women, no one. So congratulations on that. Anyway, it is great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. January 6th, another January 6th lie has been started to circulating this week, and it is that the cost of the rioting at the Capitol building was $30 million. Well, now, the government already told us last week it was $1.5 million. So now all of a sudden it's 20 times the actual figure. They just keep lying about this day.
So which is it? So they're saying now that it is $30 million, right? I mean, the damage to the Capitol building and the surroundings.
Yeah, the government has said it was $1.5 million. And then the head of maintenance or something at the Capitol building said, no, it's $30 million. It's $30 million. No.
Is it?
No. And of course, no is the answer to that.
Is it?
I don't know how much you're charging for that podium.
I'd like to see the receipts, please.
Yeah. What is that made out of? Solid gold? I don't think so, because the person was carrying it around pretty easily, leading me to believe that it wasn't made of gold.
Plus, really, the podium was returned.
Yes, but
Right.
did it have scratches on it?
So-
You don't know the millions of dollars of repairs that could have gone into that.
Well, yeah, I
Make
mean, when
it
they
look-
returned it, the one lady, remember the footage of the lady when it was returned was just dragging it across the tile?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
nobody wanted to help her carry it in. She's just dragging it, pushing it across the tile.
Yep.
So that did some damage.
Did some
So,
damage
yeah.
there, right there. That's a good point. The flooring, the marble flooring there was damaged. So, yeah, an expensive proposition, not to mention the amount of dead people that they still haven't been able to bury yet. Just the piles and piles of dead bodies that have to be dealt with at some point. I don't know when they're going to do anything about it. You know, they lied about Brian Sicknick, the officer who was killed. How long did they lie to us about that? And even the family from the very beginning was saying he died of strokes. We think he died of strokes. And that is the official cause of death from the coroner.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
I know.
No.
They didn't want that to come out because
way.
they still want to blame the Trump people for beating him to
Yeah.
death. He didn't get beaten to death. No one did. Somebody got shot dead by police, but the only actual killing was done by the Capitol
Yeah.
Police.
And now we do know,
And we don't know the name of that person.
We do know from the one ad that was aired around the country that the officers were called bad names.
That's right. Yeah, we did hear.
Do know that?
And they were. Somebody talked to them with raised voices, sternly. They said stern things to them, in addition to some foul things to them. Now, I'm not condoning any of that. I don't like what happened. I think it's despicable. And whoever caused property damage to the Capitol should be held accountable. They should pay the price. But to make this out to be worse than 9/11.
I mean, it's 1/6 now.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's just asinine. And again, They're trying to put together a commission. They're pissed off that Republicans don't want one. Meanwhile, nobody talks about a commission for what happened during the rioting. All late last spring and summer into the fall. What about that? How come nobody has to pay a price for that? Just crazy. It's asinine. But fascinating how every day some new lie develops about the Capitol riot on January 6th. And I think nobody's been charged with any sort of insurrection charge, have they?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Not as of yet. I mean, there's still people being held and and out on bail,
right?
And that have not. But I don't know that anyone has actually been even sentenced.
No. The people are being held, but they're not being tried yet.
Right.
And as far as I know, nobody's facing a charge of insurrection. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long they can drag that out and how bad they can pretend it was. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Anthony Fauci seems to, somebody got under his skin now. Somehow this whole thing is
job.
Really pissing him off now.
Well, this is his way of trying to, save his job, right? He's got to fight back. Otherwise, he's out. I mean,
You think so with the Biden administration?
I mean,
they seem perfectly happy with him.
I don't know. The world seems to be crumbling in on him now.
He's actually said twice in the last week that an attack on me is an attack on science. Science itself. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tony.
So I just follow the science. I am science. I invented science. Okay. He also talking about his flip-flopping because he's getting pissed off that we noticed that you've been on both sides of every issue. Now follow this, but you want us to follow the science.
Correct.
Okay, well, how do we know it's not going to change again? Because it changes so often. So we're a tad confused. Here's what he had to say in his defense. Cut 2.
I want to get to the political attacks. You have become, you've been sort of become a caricature on the right. There's some really wild, fantastical conspiracies.
Pause it. Like what?
I got to play one.
What's the wild, fantastical conspiracy involving Anthony Fauci? All right. I think he's going to give us one example here. Let's see.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastical conspiracies. I got to play one because it's a sitting United States senator, Marsha Blackburn. I think we have a sound of this. Let's play that one.
Yeah, please.
Here are some facts that I want you to know. First of all, yes, Dr. Fauci was emailing with Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, trying to create that narrative, cherry-picking information so that you would only know what they wanted to know.
Pause it for a second. Okay, so you're citing a wild, fantastical conspiracy theory that he emailed Mark Zuckerberg? Why is that wild and fantastical?
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
They had email correspondence, and Mark was asking, what I'll do, whatever you need, just let me know.
Amazing. All right, let's see what else she had to say.
And there would be a narrative that would fit with this cherry-picked information.
Oh, wild and fantastical.
I don't even know where to begin, but it's a sitting United States senator. It's the most,
Pause it.
call the most.
So what? What did she say there?
I don't know where to begin either, Pat, to be honest with you.
Really, there's so much to unpack.
I mean,
the outrageous suggestion that Anthony Fauci emailed Mark Zuckerberg. That can't happen.
Some would call that fantastical. But
that can't. What? I don't even know where to begin on the email thing. What's this so-called email? Who has access to that? Or what are we doing? Space alien technology now? Is that what this is? All right, let's see the rest of his question, which has gone on for about a week already.
I don't even know where to begin, but it's a sitting United States senator. It's the most, what I would call the most extreme version of what I've heard. You've got Kevin McCarthy doing his own version of this, Marco Rubio. You're aware of the critiques. How You've been debunking this. How do you debunk something like that? She's got it in her own
like you
head.
emailed someone.
Again, a United
How do you
States senator
debunk
that
that? I
represents
can't even
the state
begin.
of Tennessee. What do you say to that?
Chuck, I don't have a clue of what she just said.
She said you emailed
I don't have
Mark
a clue of what
Zuckerberg.
she's talking
Neither
about.
It's not
we.
really that complex.
I mean,
Okay.
How do you
welcome
follow
to the
the
club.
size
I
of
have no
scientists?
idea what she's talking about. And
real.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be pejorative against United States Senator, but I
Senator.
have no idea what she's talking about. And
Pause.
Chuck,
Let me explain it to you, Anthony. You emailed someone. That's what she explained. It's really complex. I know.
I know, but they also emailed him.
Yeah, they emailed
Okay.
back and forth. There was what we call an exchange.
So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm with Dr. Fauci. I can't figure it out.
I can't begin to comprehend what's going on here. You're alleging that I actually emailed someone? What?
I want to get pejorative. Oh, okay.
But I'm sorry, I don't understand this newfangled email thing. What is that? What does the E stand for? Electric? Economy? What is it? I don't even know. All right, let's see what else he doesn't know. That's so
but
great.
I have no idea what she's talking about. And Chuck, if you go through each and every one of the points, which are so ridiculous as
to ridiculous.
just painfully ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Painfully
nonetheless,
ridiculous.
if you go
Yeah.
through each and every one
We
of
got
them,
that.
you can explain and debunk it immediately.
Okay, well,
I
let's-
mean, every single one. He should be fired because he, in the beginning, changed his mind about masks. Well, okay. So let's go back early on
let's
do that.
Let's go
with
back.
the masks, and let's take a look at that.
Let's take a
At
look.
the
We've
time
done that
we were saying
multiple times.
we shouldn't be
We've
wearing
done
a
it.
mask. There were
Yeah.
three factors that were going on. A,
A.
there was thought to be a shortage of masks. B, there was no evidence that masks worked outside of the context of a hospital.
And
I
guess
wear
what?
a mask
There still
when
isn't.
I'm seeing patients
There's still no
with
evidence.
respiratory disease that could be transmissible, like tuberculosis,
Mm-hmm.
a well-fitted N95. Thirdly, we were not aware of the extent of asymptomatic spread. So we said you don't really need to wear a mask. It wasn't only me. I'm picked out as the villain. It was the Surgeon
you were
General
the
of the United States
spokesperson that
and
we
the
went
entire
through. Right.
CDC was saying the same thing. So as we went from
Yeah,
January,
that's the-
February, March, April, it became clear
Clear.
that those three things, A, there was no shortage and you could wear a cloth mask. B, the data showed that, in fact, outside of the hospital setting, masks do work.
No.
And third,
Show me
to
that
our
data.
painful
Show it to
awareness, it became clear that 50% or more of the transmissions were with people who had no symptoms. So that's when we said, we've got to get people to wear masks. That's what's called, Chuck, the scientific process. You make a recommendation,
No.
an opinion, and a guideline based on what you know at a given time.
Pause it. Here's
As
the
a
problem with that.
Okay.
He's just recently said he was doing it for show.
Yeah.
He's doing it for show now. He was doing it for show then. He continued to do it for show. He just wanted to set an example. And he admitted in the beginning, they did know. They've known all along that masks don't really protect you. They don't protect you from this disease.
And the wild conspiracy theories of the different organizations all saying the same thing. That's what they're claiming all these email exchanges were, to make sure that they were all on the same page.
You lost me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
You just mentioned email. I don't know. I don't
Sorry.
understand that. I can't comprehend it.
I apologize.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's
What are you talking
some kind
about?
of futuristic,
Email.
fantastical thing. Sorry.
It's just, the lunacy here is astounding. It really is. All right, let's see what else you had to
and
say.
a guideline based on what you know at a given time. As a scientist, as a health official, when those data change, when you get more information, it's essential that you change your position because you've got to be guided by the science and the current data.
Pause
That
it.
issue with masks.
And then how do we know, why would we follow that science when it's going to change again? I mean, it changes all the time. That's what we're trying to tell you about the global warming thing. you don't really know what's going on.
No.
The weather changes all the time. The data points change all the time. The lies change all the time.
Sure
so
do.
we have to keep addressing new lies time after time after time. I mean, it's really confusing because if that's going to be your claim, then you need to say, you know what I said earlier, Todd? I said that because we didn't have all the data. But now we do. And so what I'm saying now, wouldn't that be great
Yes,
if
it
you would have
would.
explained it like that?
Yes.
Rather than this has always been my position. The masks work. Well, no, that's not what you said before.
Correct.
So he never approached it like that. So you lost credibility and trust with the American people. That's his own darn fault. Let's see the rest.
Position, because you've got to be guided by the science and the current data. That issue with masks is people want to fire me or put me in jail for what I've done.
Nobody
Namely,
wants to put you
follow
in
the
jail.
science. I could go the next half an hour going through each and every point
I
that
know.
they make.
I know.
It's preposterous, Chuck.
You want to put him in jail?
We'll see about that when we see his involvement in the gain of function programming over there with China and his involvement with that.
Oh,
Maybe.
well,
I mean, that has nothing to
yeah,
do with the
there's
masks. But
some collusion with the Chinese.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a different deal. But I'd be in favor of trial first. Let's go ahead and put him on trial first.
we have those.
And then
We still have those.
if convicted, go ahead and put him right in jail, directly to jail. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Or I'm sorry, the $400,000 that he makes every year. Highest paid government employee in the country, right?
Yes.
Because I think it's $434,000. The president makes $400,000. Wow. I'm following the science all the way to my bank account, Chuck. So don't bother me over there, okay? Don't bother me. Let me tell you about something that's near and dear to our hearts, and that's safety for yourself or especially for your family. Protecting my family. Their safety, that's my number one priority. Taser believes that safer self-defense is better self-defense. Taser has this line of non-lethal self-protection devices. They're small and lightweight enough to carry with you, put in your glove compartment or in your purse, but they're powerful enough to incapacitate an attacker and allow you to get away. Guns and pepper spray, there's risks. There's law enforcement, depending on where you are. There are some issues. But this is a way to put somebody down and then get out of there. More than 237,000 lives have been saved with the Taser network of devices. So start protecting yourself and your family with Taser today. It's available without permit in most U.S. states. For a limited time, take advantage of Taser's best offer available and save $60 on the Pulse Plus bundle with a Taser Plus device, cartridges, and holster at Taser.com. $60 right now by using the promo code PAT, and do it at Taser.com. Taser. Taser.com.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
I just can't believe, Chuck, that people are challenging my sainthood right now. There are people who actually think I might be fallible, and that, of course, is wrong, Chuck. That's wrong. A little sensitive. Anthony Fauci right now, a little bit sensitive.
And look, they're helping him out, right? They're letting him make his rounds and slap down people. I really, he's just trying to hang on to his job. I know, the Biden administration, purports to love him, but he's been around a long time, and he knows it could turn fast on him. And I mean, look, he's making $400,000 a year plus. Does he need the gig? He's 100 now. He's been doing the job for 50, 60 years.
In his 80s. So, yeah, he's been around a long time. And maybe you just do go into retirement now.
It's time.
Yesterday he talked about...
Except when the grass always looks greener when people leave, then I remember who's in office as president and vice president. And it concerns me who they would replace him with. So...
somebody just as bad, if not worse. Yesterday, he was talking about wearing the mask while he sees his patients. It was my understanding he hasn't seen a patient in over 30 years. This guy
No, but what he said is
doesn't
when he
see
sees,
patients.
When he sees a patient,
Yeah.
say that has
Yeah, he puts
some
on a
kind of
mask.
tuberculosis or lung disease,
Right.
then he wears a
Bang.
closely fitted N95.
That mask is right on his
Yeah.
face. Yeah. So,
You sure he's not out there? He doesn't have his private practice?
No,
he's practicing that as well?
you're asking his staff if he takes Medicare and Medicaid. Do you take Blue Cross Blue Shield? How about that? No, you know what? I don't. In fact, I haven't actually been a doctor in a long, long time. I'm a bureaucrat, is what they call me.
No kidding.
Through and through.
Yes.
Through and through. The guy's a politician now and a bureaucrat. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Hey, something amazing and fantastic happened last night. Glenn went on Tucker Carlson's show.
Yeah, he promoted it yesterday, talked about going on because he had a lot to say, I believe was the
He
promo.
actually retracted his apology to Barack Obama.
Fantastic.
Which
Good.
is long overdue. He should never have made the apology
Yeah,
in
no
the first
kidding.
place. But he did apologize to Obama, and last night he took it back.
That's awesome.
Good. He said, I take my apology back, he told Tucker. I was exactly right, and I even stated it right. You are a racist if you believe in critical race theory. If you think what Dr. Martin Luther King said, that he envisions a country that's seeing people for the content of their character and not their color, if you think that's wrong, then yes, you're a racist. Can't argue with it.
No, you cannot.
Can't argue with it.
And I mean, the first round of apologies from Glenn should not have happened.
No, should not have. This was clear back in 2009. God, can you believe it's been, wow.
No, I can't.
12 years. 12 years ago. Wow. Anyway, we all went white when he said it because you knew that there was going to be trouble on the horizon. Although, how many times since has a sitting U.S. president been called a racist?
Oh,
and
my
there
gosh.
was no repercussions for anyone.
Zero.
Calling Donald Trump a racist every day, all day on CNN. Every day, all day.
That's okay.
That was perfectly fine. But how dare you question Barack Obama? How dare you? And here's what he said back then.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is.
Right. Okay. He's thinking out loud on that particular segment. And he didn't know what it was, but there was something wrong.
Yes.
What was that? Did he pull that out of his anus? No.
No.
No, he did not.
No.
It did not come from his buttocks.
Really?
Really. Came from the mouth and the writings of Barack Obama. Because there was good reason to wonder.
Yeah.
Very good reason. Read Dreams from My Father and then tell me the guy didn't have race issues. Come on. He admits to it.
He sure does.
He admits all through his book that he had a struggle with white people. Despite the fact that he
Raised
himself
with
is
it.
half white.
And raised with it. I mean, just it
Yes.
was I don't want to say it was bred into him, but yep, you know what it was.
Why don't you want to say that? Because he did.
She is a
His grandmother,
typical white person who, if she
sees
sees somebody
him
on the street,
she gets
that she
really
doesn't
scared.
know,
Yeah.
there's a reaction
frightening.
that's been bred into our experiences.
He caught himself there.
Yes, he did.
And he dared not say bred into her. Bred into our. Oh, I said bred into
See,
our
I
experiences. Bred
Yeah, that's what I
into our
wanted to say. Yeah, no, I didn't want to
experiences.
do that.
Okay. So what he was saying about his grandmother is she was inherently afraid of black people, and that's racist. And so the only thing he was simply saying is that she's a racist. So don't tell me that Barack Obama didn't have any problems with Whitey, because he did. And again, in his book, Dreams from My Father, you see it all the way through that thing.
Sure do.
I mean, the guy should still be in therapy, probably, for his conflicted feelings on the issue. And I mean, there were far more comments than that. There was the
there were plenty of comments. If you throw the book in the trash, let's look at the 8 years of his presidency.
Yeah, I know for sure. The police acted stupidly thing because they were white and his friend was black. There was the talk of his college experience. Who'd he hang out with?
I chose my friends carefully. The more politically active black students.
Okay. So, politically active black students. It's not hanging out with whitey.
Foreign students. The Chicanos, the Marxist professors and structural feminists and punk rock performance poets. We smoked cigarettes and wore leather jackets.
Hey, you're tough.
At night in the dorms, we discussed neocolonialism. France Fanon, Eurocentrism, and patriarchy.
Right.
When we ground out our cigarettes in the hallway carpet, or set our stereos so loud that the walls began to shake,
you're a rebel.
We were resisting bourgeois society's stifling constraints.
Yes.
He was resisting bourgeois society's stifling complaints.
Yes.
Like one of their stifling problems was don't put your cigarettes out in the carpet. They were trying to stifle that in him, and it's so wrong, which is why you had to hang out with the structural feminists.
We wanted the music so loud the walls would shake, and then me and the Chicanos would put our cigarettes on the carpet.
The more politically active black students.
Oh yeah, and the foreigners.
But there was no white guys around playing their Barry Manilow music. That's for sure. We wouldn't have any of that. You go listen to your Air Supply somewhere else, whitey. Okay.
We want the punk rock performance artists.
Yeah. And Sly and the Family Stone. That's who we want. Okay. Maybe a little Earth, Wind, and Fire almost, though they're a little bit bougie themselves. You know? Too many white people like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, you need the Isley Brothers,
Parliament.
stuff like that.
We need Parliament all up in here. I mean, it's amazing the things he got away with. Nobody challenged him except a scant few talk show hosts. And that's it.
Well, you got hammered when you did.
You did. And look, they still start sentences about Glenn with the man who once called Barack Obama a racist and so on, whatever the story is about at that particular moment. So what? You know, calling somebody a racist doesn't make you a racist. If that would be the case, then everybody in the media would be a racist right now because of their treatment of Donald Trump. It's amazing how that whole turned around on the presidency, didn't it? I mean, you can't call a president a racist unless it's Donald Trump.
Right. So I want to be sure that I understand what you're telling me is that accusations don't mean that it's true. Is that right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes,
Something
in part.
Like that?
Yes, in part.
If I accuse you of something, it doesn't mean you are that something.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. Fascinating, isn't it?
Whatever.
So, anyway, last night, because he's pissed off at Obama for what Obama is saying now, and should be.
And they're dragging him out. As I said the other day, he's out everywhere now. I don't know if he's trying to help Joe, make Joe look better, or if he's mad that Joe's getting the credit that he wanted. I think maybe that is more than anything. It's like, hey, there wouldn't be a Joe without me. Listen to me. I think
that's
I'm
accurate.
still here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so narcissistic that he's got to be injected into the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not the Joe Biden administration. He's the extension of the Obama administration.
Well, and he said just the other day that Joe Biden is finishing the job that he started.
Yes.
And we've made that point many times.
Yes.
He's finishing off the fundamental transformation of the United States of America.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. That's right.
Good times.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with some structural feminists and some, I don't know, bougie white guys too. Maybe even a little bougie sauce. I don't know. Yeah. Ooh, you don't like that. You don't like that. More coming up. Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Just kind of looking through this story about Glenn on Tucker last night. They're going through the whole 2009 situation where he alleged perhaps that maybe Barack Obama had some racial issues. And clearly he did and does. Clearly. There's no doubt in my mind.
Or his.
That's right. The article goes on. Then in November 2016, around the time former President Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton in the White House race, Beck said he did a lot of freaking out about Obama. Beck also said he regretted calling him a racist and claimed he supported the Black Lives Matter movement. That I don't remember. Did he? I don't know about the movement.
I don't know about
and maybe
that.
in 2016 we didn't know the Marxist origins of the group. I don't know. Maybe he was just talking about, of course, Black Lives Matter.
I mean, we were still doing the show every day at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't remember any of that.
Necessarily remember that. I remember the apology about Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, "Oh, do we want to do that?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yep. And I remember us saying,
was yes.
You got nothing to apologize for. There's no reason for that.
Have you seen the last 8 years? No.
Right. The guy does have racial issues. But they go on. What inspired Beck's apparent change of heart about Obama was an interview with CNN's Anderson Cooper earlier this week when the Democrat accused the Republican Party of focusing on the wrong issues, specifically on the concerns over critical race theory. You would think, with all the public policy debates that we're having right now, the Republican Party would be engaged in a significant debate about how we're going to deal with the economy. Yeah, this is what Obama says. What are we going to do about climate change?
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, you would definitely think the Republican Party is going to be focused on that when they don't believe it's an issue. What are we going to do about, lo and behold, the biggest single most important issue to them apparently right now is critical race theory. Who knew that was the threat to our republic? Well, apparently not you douchebag.
No kidding.
Because apparently you don't know anything about it. Or if you do, it proves you're a racist again because you're not concerned about it. No, we don't. That is a big issue to us, teaching our white children that they're racists. That they're automatically, because of their whiteness, that they're racist. And that they're privileged beyond a point they should be. And that they're evil somehow. I mean, that's what they're being taught in schools. So is that a big issue to us? You bet it is.
Yeah, just a tad.
Yeah, you bet it is. It's pathetic if you can't get your head around that. It's asinine is what it is. 888-900-3393. And speaking of racial issues, did you see the attack on that elderly guy who was singing on Venice Beach? I guess he's pretty well known on Venice Beach for standing there
Being
dancing.
out there singing and dancing.
Dancing. And
There's several street entertainers on Venice.
I'm
if you've
sure
ever partied there.
Yeah. So I don't know why this happens, but this is disturbing. But here's what a black man just walking by decides to do to him. Boom. He broke his face, essentially. Busted up his cheekbone and his orbital bone there in his eye.
What the hell?
70 years old. Watch that again. Here, look at this. Watch the black guy right there. Then he stops, sees him, comes over and blindsides him with a punch to the face that broke his face. What was that about? There's no issues with race. Black people can't be racist.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If the roles were reversed, and that's some young white guy stopping and cold cocking from the side or from behind
an elderly black
elderly
man?
70-year-old black man, that footage would be everywhere
That's for
today.
sure.
Everywhere.
And we don't know if these two have had other issues. I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But we don't know if these two have had issues in the past, on Venice Beach. We don't know any of that, if they've had interactions that
Doesn't matter.
have gone bad.
That's inexcusable, even if they did, which I don't think they did. I don't think they know each other. That could have been the first time he's ever laid eyes on this guy.
And probably was.
Jeez. Why is that happening so often now?
Because they want
hate.
to prove, yes, they want to prove their weakness by showing strength and just attacking people.
Man, just bizarre.
It
Out of
sure
the blue.
is.
For no reason at all. Just walking by and then comes up from behind him and smashes him in the face
He didn't
like
seem
that.
to be dancing that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad. It didn't look
Okay.
that offensive.
I don't know what he was singing, but the dancing didn't look too bad.
Well, it was a Boogie Land by Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ooh, yeah.
So he's dancing to a good song. I like Boogie Wonderland. You don't like it?
Yeah, I like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
All right.
Maurice White was great. I love Maurice White and Earth, Wind, and Fire. Fantastic.
Philip Bailey, the whole band, they were all good. I think they're still touring today, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Maurice just died, though.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Missed that. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
I
we
feel
lost
like-
Maurice White and B.J. Thomas recently?
No, I think Maurice is. That's been a couple years. I think.
Has it?
At least a year, I think.
Well, my statement yesterday still holds. If there's a rock and roll heaven, you know they've got a hell of a band.
Yeah. 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
What did he die of? Does it say?
COVID, they think, but they didn't know. It was.
Early onset COVID.
Yeah.
Before it even existed.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
hate
know.
that. That's not good. All right.
He was battling Parkinson's really bad.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
I didn't
Long time battle, they said. So.
Okay. 888-900-3393. And of course, the vocal problems, which I didn't have yesterday, have to resurface today.
Well, you've been doing Fauci.
Well,
And,
that might be
starting
it.
Starting to crank those chords a little bit.
might have contributed to it. I'm
You
not
need
sure.
to- and speaking of that Fauci footage, I love that the network television, perhaps maybe they need to get a new algorithm, a new computer, or a new intern typing things. We're so focused on Anthony Fauci speaking, but they're spelling words wrong on the bottom.
Oh, let
on
me
their
see.
bottom scroll. Fauci attacks a painfully
Oh, yeah. R-E-D,
ridiculous.
ridiculous. Oops.
And then it goes away, and then they respell it. So somebody caught it, but it's funny.
Yeah, just fun to take note that MSNBC sucks. Let me tell you about Omega XL. This is something that doesn't suck. It is awesome. If you've got pain brought on by inflammation, this is a way to completely get rid of that. It's not a drug that you're going to become addicted to or dependent upon. It's all natural, and it goes right to the inflammation and essentially has an off switch for inflammation. It's backed by 35 years of clinical research, tiny little gel cap that is super easy to swallow. And you're gonna be shocked that it actually works. For me, it took about a week, and I started to notice that the pain was subsiding. And after 2 weeks, the pain was gone, and it hasn't been back. So to get you started on your life-changing experience, go to omegaxl.com/Pat. Order your first bottle. We'll throw in a second one for free. You buy one, you get one free. omegaxl.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Did you catch President Biden in starting his European tour yesterday? It was a beautiful thing. I mean, whenever President Biden is going to make his world tour, I'm sure his world tour is, hey, America's not great anymore, and I'm in charge.
Yeah, we're racist. We're racist pigs over in America. No, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've got a terrible problem for race. So we don't have a leg to stand on telling you guys anything. Don't even listen to us.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
Don't even listen to us on any of it, because we've got no credibility now. That's what I love about their effort.
So is
this where he kept forgetting he's president?
They landed at Mildenhall Air Force Base, and he was giving a speech. Of course, we've got to kick it off with Jill speaking.
Oh,
which, I mean,
of course.
Remember how we elected her? as president
Right.
of the United States. So it's important that Dr. Birthing People Biden has to speak first. And she comes out and introduces, but at one point she scolds Joe. Maybe that's why she's along for the ride. She scolds Joe for not paying attention. Now, if you'll watch the video of this, Joe's not paying attention because he's looking at the hot babes.
He's checking out the chicks. Yeah.
You know,
See.
you can sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
I don't want you to stand
We love you, Joe.
I love you too. I love your snoobs.
Joe, pay attention.
He's busy looking at the babes in the back. Fantastic.
And his wife has to get him refocused.
Right. Pay attention.
Nice.
And she's there, and then she ends up introducing that 14-year-old girl who was a child of one of the military families on base, and that's what they were, pushing, how important family is, and here on the bases, and the military is just so important to this administration. And then they stand. So she tells them sit down, and then I guess after the girl introduces President Biden, he starts talking, and he realizes they're still standing. So he tells them, and then that's where he forgets. I keep forgetting.
All right, let's see that.
Thank you. And Sydney, you're 14 years old. When I was 14, if you please at ease. I keep forgetting I'm president.
Yeah, no doubt. I believe that.
Like I was just forgetting that I was president, and I was looking at the babes behind me.
I would have been, I mean it sincerely, scared to death.
Oh, yeah, he's just talking
Stand
about his
up
stuttering.
in front of a microphone to a large crowd or a small crowd. See, when I was a child, I used to stutter badly, for real. I had great difficulty speaking in front of other people.
Unlike today, where you have greater difficulty speaking to people.
No, he's got great difficulty.
Jeez. Like we got to go back 70 years for that. Joe, I got news for you. You're probably worse than you were as a kid.
I think that's the case.
I keep forgetting I'm president. And people keep getting me in trouble. I'm in trouble with my mom because I'm talking to you guys, and I'm not opposed to. I need my pudding. Where's my pudding?
I'm not opposed to.
I'm not opposed to do this.
I'm not opposed to do that.
Then he's talking to the U.S. soldiers and telling them about the greatest threat that they're facing today.
We have to end COVID-19, not just at home, which we're doing, but everywhere. There's no wall high enough to keep us safe from this pandemic or the next biological threat we face, and there will be others. That requires coordinated, multilateral action.
What? We
must all commit to an ambitious climate action if we're going to prevent the worst impacts of climate change, limiting global warming to no more than
warming.
1.5
when he was 14, he had trouble
Celsius.
speaking in front of
the global transition to clean energy technology. When I went over in the tank in the Pentagon, when I first was elected vice president with President Obama, the military sat us down to let us know what the greatest threats facing America were, the greatest physical threats. This is not a joke.
It's not a joke.
You know what the Joint Chiefs told us the greatest threat facing America was?
Yes, I do.
Global warming.
Get out of here.
There's not a chance that's true.
Significant population movements, fights over land, millions of people leaving places because they're literally sinking below the sea in Indonesia.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the fights over what is arable land anymore.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's bumming it.
So the greatest threat now is climate change, when I was just told by the same guy that there was a different greatest threat.
According to the intelligence community, terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al-Qaeda.
Not Al-Qaeda.
White
Not global
supremacists.
warming. White supremacists.
That's his disclaimer, though, right? The homeland, and he's telling the military guys in the United Kingdom that the greatest threat globally is climate change, right?
It's all bull crap. All of it. It's all bull crap.
Are you alleging that the president of the United States
is full of crap?
Joseph Robinette Biden.
Yes.
Is lying?
Yes.
To the American people?
Yes, I am.
And all right,
every day, all day.
Whatever.
Jeez.
I mean, he's making this tour that we're on now, that he's on now, is going to be agonizing because he's already said that the United States is going to buy how many millions of doses of vaccines for the world. We're buying all of that, just giving it to him. I mean, he's on the tour. He's with the head of Boris Johnson, right from UK Today. Then he's got the G7 and Putin, and it's going to be agonizing because Trump would not be there, but if he was, he would be still pushing. Hey, we're America. And red, white, and blue. Here's the flag. It's us. Not anymore.
And he'd be at the
Not
G7.
anymore.
He'd just be leading the G7,
Right.
not being led by the nose, talking about climate change and that kind of nonsense. Here we've got hackers shutting down industries, completely shutting down oil transportation and the refining of oil. They're shutting down meat processing plants. They're driving up prices all over the place. And those are critical issues. And you're babbling about climate change being our biggest threat?
People are moving because their land is sinking into
I
the
want my
ocean.
damn Trump back.
I know. Well, you're not going to get it back. Maybe you will.
August, right?
Maybe you will.
Isn't that the time we've been promised? August.
Sidney Powell's on the hunt again. So maybe we will.
And she's got all kinds of credibility. She really does. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. Also add Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got some tweets here from disturbing explicatives. Why didn't Dr. Jill get appointed Joe's coronavirus task force? Seems like as a doctor, she could help out with that. Smushing Duck. Joe started hitting on the 14-year-old girl, and one of his minions held up the "you pervert" hand signal. Reminded him of the troops standing at attention all around him. Wild, fantastical hippie patriot. Oh, my gosh. By all that is holy, why do we have Biden in a group of minor girls? Hello, Jill. Pay attention.
Well, yeah, before that, she was even thanking Disney and Pixar for having movies for the young kids on the other side there on the base to watch. And I'd be happy that he was looking at the older females in the back.
Yeah. Yep. I'm opposed to do that. Tweets. The greatest threat is stupidity. And boy, is it a pandemic right now.
Ooh.
Yep. Let's see. From Swank Think, the most lethal threat against America is the fact that the greatest threat changes on a daily basis. We can't even come up with a strategy before we have to change our target. And from, hey, I'm Preston. Troops from the Air Force hearing in person from the president that global warming is the greatest threat. I'm sure the troops really feel valued by the commander-in-chief now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we got this military force out there fighting the weather. So stupid, so asinine.
It really is.
Also, he screwed up talking about the Royal Air Force in Britain yesterday, which they had to be pleased with. He couldn't even say the RAF, right? The Royal Air Force.
Right.
So he mixed that up.
These partnerships have hardened and have been hardened in the fire of war. And generations of Americans and service members who fought them. Like the original Bloody Hundredth and those RFA pilots.
And those RFA. And those RFA pilots. The Royal Force Airs.
RFA.
Wait, the
RFAs.
Royal Forced Air? Is that what it's an air conditioning unit. It's forced air. So we're pretty proud of them. They keep you cool in the summertime here in England, I understand. Is that true? The RFA goes along with the AFT, the American Federation of Teachers in America, the Royal Forced Air people. They're all doing a great job. I love it.
Well, he keeps forgetting he's president.
He keeps forgetting. Yeah.
So there's that.
Man. Journal of American Psychoanalytic Association published a research article in May that describes being white as, okay, here's another psychology magazine talking about whiteness. It's a, quote, malignant, parasitic-like condition and a dangerous, discriminatory, and perverse mental condition. Being white is a mental condition?
Yep.
How can they get? How do they get away with this stuff?
I don't know, but
I don't understand.
They're everywhere you turn. It's being pushed. I mean, we even talked about it yesterday, right? I mean, if you are white and you don't realize you're racist, then you're racist.
Yes.
If you're white and you're racist, you're racist. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. However you think, just because you're white, you're racist, privileged, and you barely deserve to live. And for the most part, I mean, they take it to the edge to saying that you need to die.
And some of them go beyond that edge.
Every day.
Written by author and activist Donald Moss, the article entitled On Having Whiteness explains that whiteness establishes an entitled dominion that enables the host of parasitic whiteness to have power without limit, force without restriction, violence without mercy, and adding that it has a drive to hate and terrorize.
Oh.
Wow. Again, replace black with white.
Yeah, I mean...
And see what happens to somebody who writes an article like this. Again... David Duke doesn't speak like this. I know. David Duke doesn't talk like this. The new one is what's that guy's name? Robert starts with an S. He's on the far right. Robert I don't know. Whatever his name is. He doesn't talk like this. I don't think, not that I've ever heard. And he's supposed to be one of the biggest racists in the world right now. It's crazy.
Gosh darn it. What's his stupid name?
Ignatieff. Let's see. There's while Moss opens his paper by claiming that no clear path links my argument to that of my predecessors. His article is not by any means the first time scholars have endeavored to establish whiteness as an institutionally recognized pathology, for which, by the way, there's no treatment or cure. Noel Ignatieff.
Well, there is a cure.
Well, it's death. Yes, death to Whitey. But Noel Ignatieff, a now deceased historian, Harvard lecturer, and former member of the Communist Party who founded a journal titled Race Trader, whose motto was treason to whiteness is loyalty to humanity. Here's a guy. They found one dead guy who kind of talks like this. He wrote an article for the Harvard magazine entitled Abolish the White Race, in which he argued that the goal of abolishing the white race is on its face so desirable that some may find it hard to believe that it could occur any opposition other than from committed white supremacists. So I guess if you're white and you don't want to be abolished, you're a white supremacist.
Yeah.
Ignatieff, who believed that race was a socially constructed pathology rather than a biological reality, contended that whiteness is not a culture but a privilege. So ridiculous. Moss told the Federalist that there is a clear distinction between white people as a race and whiteness as an alleged pathology. This is just unacceptable, and yet it's being completely accepted.
Sure is. It sure is. I mean, that's again, it's the critical race theory being shoved in our faces every day.
But to listen to Barack Obama talk about it, there's really no problem. We've just been freaked out by the media, by Fox News. Remember? Fox News is feeding this frenzy. Really? Okay. I wonder how he'd feel if these articles were written about blacks.
Oh, man.
What would Barack Obama be saying right now? I mean, you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine it. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Did you see Lester Holt, actually your hero?
My man,
Jeffy,
Lester Holt.
Your
main man, Lester Holt. The NBC News.
He challenged Kamala Harris on her claim, we've been to the border.
Darn right he is. He's a journalist.
Here he is, holding her feet to the fire a little bit.
Just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Well, I mentioned it because I know Republicans have certainly come at you on this, but Democratic Congressman Cuellar has a border district, has said to you and the president, come. You need to see this.
Listen, I care about what's happening at the border.
I care.
Not enough to go there.
No, I'm not going
to. But I care. I care, deeply.
I haven't been to Europe either.
Yeah, you weren't appointed to deal with Europe. Was she not appointed to be the point person on the border?
100%.
Essentially, Biden turned the border situation over to Kamala Harris.
Yes.
And she still hasn't been there.
I mean, there's got to be a phone call made from Joe somewhere, right? Pay attention, Joe. Remember you're president. At some point, when he remembers he's president, he's got to call her. He's on his European tour, a European apology tour, so that they know that we're not great anymore. And he's got to call her and say, yo.
Hey.
K.
Just stop by the border, okay? You're flying to Guatemala.
You're going to be in Mexico.
You're going to fly over the border. Maybe you, land. Spend 15 minutes at the border.
Just stop in. You don't even have to announce it. You don't even have to tell people.
Seriously, wouldn't you just take this away as a talking point?
Yes.
If you're going to Guatemala anyway, you're telling me you can't just stop in McAllen, drive to the border, spend 15 minutes talking to some sheriff, get back in the SUV.
Couple of photos. Do a photo op.
Do some photos, and you're back on your way on the plane, headed for Guatemala.
We're done. You can take a shower on the plane and wash the border off of you.
That shows how little she cares. She doesn't give a rat's ass about it. She doesn't care.
No,
at all.
Not a chance.
She couldn't care less.
Not a chance. And I also loved. She didn't really necessarily have a good time in Guatemala.
No, right? They didn't
appreciate her.
They were
at all.
not appreciative of her nonsense.
And the president of Guatemala had said that it's the Biden administration's fault. He scolded her for not putting on her mask after the press conference. She walked away and left her mask on the podium, and he was like, "Oh."
Really? Even though she's been vaccinated?
Yep. So it's the wrong. Those vaccinated messages of live life normal again. Nope.
Here's the thing. She's terrible. She's terrible.
Really bad.
She's a terrible vice president.
Really bad.
She's a terrible person.
Yeah.
Let's just face it. Just call it what it is.
No, I'm not arguing with you.
I know.
I'm not saying. I think terrible is almost too nice a word.
It really is. It really is. All right, 888-900-3393. Ron in Virginia. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Hey, Pat. Getting back to Fauci and his mask discussion. Jeffy beat me to the punch on the misspelling of the words. But if you go back and listen to Fauci, he starts listing all the reasons. He goes, A, this, B, that, and then thirdly. He can't even keep his stuff straight when he's lying to us.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's great stuff.
Then the other thing is too, all the little girls that the president's peeving on, aren't they all white?
I'm not sure, but maybe
the ones that were behind him at the Air Force Base were.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah.
Racist bastard.
Right.
Allie in Tennessee, you're on the Blaze. Hi.
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 Oh my gosh, bro, this is so great. I listen to y'all's show like every day.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. So
I
what's up?
wanted to talk about our Black Lives Matter chapter in our city. It's like one of the fastest growing cities in America, but this particular chapter, like, I haven't seen any violence from them. They've been on the streets and like kneeling and praying, and I just wish that like more people would, if they had a cause, that they would just take to the streets and pray to God and put that trust in God instead of like doing violence and all that stuff, because just the world is crazy right now. And I'm asking for your prayers too, that we all kind of know how to stand up and stand for what's right. Because I'm a millennial, I'll be honest. I'm a millennial, and I try to avoid politics as much as possible, but I've been feeling really called lately to stand up for social issues and stand up for what God wants me to stand up for instead of like what the world's telling me to. And it's really hard right now to have courage. So,
that's for sure.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
That's what Mark
Appreciate
Robinson
it.
was saying from North Carolina in his speech. It just can't back off.
Right.
Now's the time.
Yeah, it's a time to stand up.
Yes.
And to be courageous and to not worry about what they're going to call you in the meantime. They're going to call you a racist. So what?
I mean, they already are.
Yeah, they're already doing it. And they've basically told us that white people are a virus on this planet and need to be eliminated. Tough. Sorry. We're not going to be silenced. Meant to ask her what city in Tennessee she was calling from. Did she say?
Dubuque.
That's in Iowa, but
No, it's Dubuque, Tennessee.
It was Dubuque, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. The little known Dubuque.
A lot of people don't know it exists.
Probably the lesser known of the two. Yeah. 888-900-3393. Let me tell you about Raycon earbuds. I
do too.
My Raycon earbuds.
I do too.
I love them.
So funny thing, so do most of the people in my family.
Really?
Yeah. I got to snag my daughter always has my pair.
Yeah, see, that's unacceptable to me because I don't want the thing that's been in my ears going into your ears and the thing that's in your ears going into mine. And it just
that's my daughter.
No.
It's okay.
No, it's no. That's why you need a couple
I should
of
buy
pair.
another pair, right?
Yes, you need more. And the good thing is you can get 2 or 3 pair for what you would pay for the Apple earbuds. So it's a really good deal. They look great. They feel great in your ears. They stay in your ears. The sound is fantastic. Raycon wireless earbuds. They make all the difference. You get crisp, powerful beats at half the price of the other premium audio brands. They look great. They feel even better. They come in a range of colors and with customizable gel tips included for a comfortable ear fit. So they've got the size to fit just about anybody's ear. And right now, Raycon is offering 15% off all their products for my listeners. Here's what you have to do to get it. Really complicated. Go to buyraycon.com/gray. So it's really not complicated, actually. There you'll get 15% off your entire order of Raycon products. Such a good deal. You want to grab a pair and a spare, and then you don't have to share yours with anybody else. That's 15% off at buyraycon, B-U-Y, Raycon, RAYCON.com/gray. Buyraycon.com/gray. Jeffy was just talking there on the Chewing the Fat segment promo about Emmanuel Macron in France approaching a group of people that were shaking
He was coming
hands
up being a politician, kind of shaking their hands, being nice, kissing babies.
And watch what happens. This is interesting. He walks up to the crowd. The guy grabs his arm and slaps him in the face. Do we have that?
We should, yeah.
Macron?
It was from yesterday, and I even emailed. There we go.
Here it is. He's running up to the people. Got a mask on.
He's got to shake their hand. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Smack.
Oh, boom!
Oh!
And they drag him away.
And he goes down quickly from the Secret Service or whatever they call it.
And they made a big deal about him, Macron, coming back because he said, "I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue." But he didn't really. If you watch afterward, he comes back and he's like, "How you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
Here. Good to see you. Good to see you." He's reaching. He's stretching. Hey. It wasn't like before. That's for sure.
Got slapped in the face. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
From a world leader. Wow. That could have been something really bad.
I know.
Really bad.
I know. And he's
lucky he just got slapped in the face.
He's opening the country back up, and I forget what they had said that this guy was mad about, but because he was speaking in some language that nobody understands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was
speaking gibberish.
Yeah. So I don't know what he was saying. We need some kind of interpreter, but
probably out of his mind.
Yes,
he's just out of his mind.
I mean, you're slapping the president of your country in the face.
You must be out of your mind, right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now. So did you see that the new study about hydroxychloroquine?
No.
So they just released findings that said
it killed like almost everybody who ever took it. Is that what they
it's
finally
funny
found?
you'd think that, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would.
But that's not what it said.
That's why it was banned, because it killed everyone who took it.
It said weight-adjusted hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin improved survival of ventilated COVID-19 patients by nearly 200%.
200%?
By nearly 200%.
Clearly ineffective and dangerous.
Thank you.
Dangerous.
Thank you.
Thank you for that story, Jeffy, to remind us just how dangerous and ineffective hydroxychloroquine is.
Are you kidding me? Is that what we said? I mean, I personally saw it help a family member.
Yeah.
Pull through.
Probably
COVID.
saved his life.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, he believes it. And I mean, so do I. I mean, they were ready to put him on a vent. And they, gave him the hydroxychloroquine rounds.
And it worked.
It worked. Yes.
Yeah, the combination of hydroxy with the azithromycin is supposed to be really potent and really good. But if you say that, it's a conspiracy theory. But now there's an actual study that shows it.
Just amazing.
Jeez.
I mean,
there's another drug or another treatment that has been approved by the FDA for something else. And the people started taking it for COVID-19. And apparently, in many cases, it helped immensely. And they're trying to shut it down. It's ivermectin.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah. I remember the story. Yeah, but it was developed. What did they say that it was developed for?
It was something else.
I forget what it was.
I don't remember what it was.
But okay, so.
But they started using it for some people for COVID-19, and now they're trying to tell us that it's incredibly dangerous to take it for COVID-19.
Well, that's
when
what
it was helping people.
Isn't that what the trial? I mean, we're testing it, and I have COVID-19. This might work. Okay.
Now the proponents of this drug say, and it's ivermectin, and the proponents say it helps, and there are no side effects. Now, I just looked up on I think it was an FDA website, and they seriously warn against taking it.
I believe that.
And they make it out like, you're going to die if you take this for COVID-19. But there are people who swear by it. But just like hydroxychloroquine, they're trying to squelch anybody's use of it, and they're trying to make it unavailable to anybody who wants to use it.
Right.
If you want to use it and you're deathly ill from COVID-19, let them use it.
Yes. That's what I mean.
What do you have to lose?
It's going to be. Do you want to try something that might work and cure you? Okay.
Yes. Give it to me. Even in vaccine-crazed Israel, where almost everybody is vaccinated, they did a small study of 30 patients. Okay, so it's not massive, but they did 30 patients and gave them ivermectin. And all of them recovered. All of them. 29 of them within 3 to 5 days. In India, they started using it. Delhi saw a 99% decline in cases.
Wow.
After beginning the universal use of ivermectin. Now, I'd be careful, look into it, do your own research, but that seems like a promising treatment, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Man, and for some reason, they just don't want you to find anything out of the mainstream. 888-900-3393.
Pat Gray.
still laugh every time. That's interesting. It's interesting.
Oh my, is there a number somewhere?
888-900-3393 is that number, and you can call. There is a number, and you can call it. We got to get into a couple of things before the end of the show. For one thing, apparently both Bidens, both surviving male Bidens, Joe and Hunter, have been using the N-word. Now, a little more ridiculous for Hunter, I think, his use of it in these emails that are surfacing now.
Yeah, the text with the attorney.
Apparently, Joe Biden's use of it was on the Senate floor back in 1985.
Yeah.
And it was in some kind of context
of some context. So, are we really, I guess I don't want to believe that we're going to go back and slam somebody from 1985.
Well, I'm sorry, they made these rules.
They
made the rules, and now they got to live by them. So, yes, we're going to go back to 1985 and make him pay for it. He's got to step down as president, and so does his vice president, and so does the Speaker of the House, because they're all in on the cover-up, all of them. Using the N-word is about the worst possible thing a human being can do right now. Isn't that right?
I think so.
Unless you're in the Biden family. And then we find out you've used it, and we won't talk about it for you. We'll just cover it up and be quiet about it.
Didn't happen.
It's unbelievable. It's really
Where
unbelievable.
did you get that information from? The stolen laptop?
Yeah.
From the hacked laptop?
Yeah, the Russians.
From the laptop that doesn't exist. I don't know. It's mine. I don't know. It's mine.
Well, now, it may be that he took it into the shop to have it repaired and then was so stoned he forgot it was there. Or the other likely explanation is Russian spies.
That's right.
Russian spies
took
it from him and then brought it to be repaired.
Or he could have dropped it off to get repaired, and then it was hacked. And it was out of my hands.
And all those emails were placed in there.
Out of my hands. Well, those emails, did you actually send those emails? Nobody's asked him that. Are those your emails?
And of course, yes, they are his, and yes, it is his laptop, and everybody knows it, but nobody in the media cares.
No.
They don't care. It doesn't matter. Nothing that Bidens do matters. Nothing. It's incredible.
I know.
It's incredible. Joe in Illinois, you're on the Blaze. Hi.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Jeffy. How you guys doing today, man? I love the show, man.
Thank you.
So I got some information that I just want to pass along. It's coincidence possibly, but by the year 2050, China's elderly population, that's people over the age of 60, will reach 300 million or more. All right, which will be 30% of their population. 70% of these people that are retired, because they have mandatory retirement in China, women at 55, men at 60 years old, 70% of them have no private savings or retirement. Okay, so it's all government. They're living off the government completely. All right, or their children, taking care of them. In 2015, China got rid of the one-child policy and raised it to 2. They have not seen an increase. If you take a look at all the stats,
they just changed that though. Did they not? They moved that to 3 now.
Well, the reason why they did this is because they haven't seen any kind of upsurge in birth rate. Okay, because they needed people to take care of these elderly people. They needed more workers. So go ahead and you release this coronavirus that affects elderly at a rate of insane. I mean, it's compared to young people, it affects elderly. I mean, you got to take a look at this and say, were they trying to get rid of their elderly? I mean, you're looking at 300 million people in China that can't take care of themselves. That are required, that are living off the government. I mean, and China is like the only country, all right, when you look at all the projections, that that is going to have a decline in population. They're looking at 37 million people less by 2050 than they have right now. I think you got to take a look at that and say, hey, there's some coincidences here that, I mean, they've been doing population control for 50 years. That's what China does.
Right.
So
And they've been known. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Joe. It's a good point. And they've been known to kill their populace. I don't know if people
Really?
Yeah, they've been known.
Now you're just spouting fantastical theories that I don't even want to know about.
Chairman Mao took the lives of 60 million people. 60 million people.
Does seem like a high number.
It does, doesn't it? It does. And they have no problem in it. I mean, kill all you want, we'll just birth more. It's what seemed to be the theory back then.
Yes.
It's not in practice anymore, though, because it's not like that. As Joe mentioned, their birth rate is going the wrong way. It's declining. And that's why they did away with the one-child policy, raised it to 2, and now they've raised it to 3. Well, you created a situation now in your country where nobody wants kids anymore.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have a tough time replenishing your population. It's amazing. So is that within the realm of possibility that it was on purpose to get rid of their senior citizens?
Sure. I mean,
it seems like something that the Chinese would do.
We're not supposed to theorize about any of this stuff.
Yeah, right.
At all.
That's right.
We're supposed to just
because then they won't buy your products. Okay, don't theorize about this if you're in the NBA. That's for sure. They'll slap you down hard in the NBA.
You're not going to bring your movies here.
No. True. Right. So Hollywood, depending on their being part of their market, an important part of their market now, and so is the NBA and other industries in this country as well. All right, Gail in New Mexico, you're on the Blaze.
Hi, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Keith. How is he?
Oh, man. Do I miss Keith,
We
too?
miss him like crazy.
Oh, man.
We've been weeping all week.
I can't.
All week.
tell
I broke down
how
and
much.
wept like a 3-year-old girl last night.
Well,
but
I just wanted
he's
to
having a good
know
time. He's driving
about
around the
that
country.
Ivermectin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know that it's used in oral form there in Texas. It's been prescribed. But here, in its liquid form, it's a medication that's used for parasites in cows.
Right. Yeah.
But my family has been using it, rubbing it on us for the entire, mismatch of this COVID thing.
Yeah.
And I'm in that high risk group, and none of us have had even a sniffle the whole time, and we don't wear masks or anything.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. So you have been using it.
Yeah,
as a preventative measure.
I use it every other day, and it even kind of helps with the inflammation I have.
Are you soaking in it, or are you?
No, I just have a spray bottle, and I spray a little bit on and rub it in.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all been doing that. Like I said, I'm high risk, and we have some other high risk people in my family, and we've had not so much as a sniffle.
Has it also cut down on the parasites that you've had to put up with?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I got rid of those worms and stuff right away.
Good, because there's nothing worse than ringworm this time of year.
Plus,
I hate it.
I know. Walking around with that on your skin, it's just embarrassing.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
You don't.
Thanks, Gail. Appreciate
She
it.
didn't mention that. I think she lost some relatives, too.
That's amazing, though. And that's the other thing the FDA said. Never use a drug that's intended for other animals. Don't ever use that in a human if it's intended for animals. Those are very different kinds of drugs that we use on other animals. So.
Okay.
All right. Whatever. But then you hear testimonials like that from people and families who have been using it, and they swear by it. So I don't know.
Now, I will say the other day we had you use some apple cider vinegar that people swear by.
Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't. You don't swear by it. Unless it's like the F word. I hate that stuff.
Wait.
That's nasty. That apple cider vinegar.
And people, I guarantee we could get people to call up and say, well, I've been bathing in apple cider vinegar for 20 years. I haven't had a sniffle or ringworm. None of it. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly.
Don't lie.
There you go. That's a fact.
We do know the numbers don't lie. Let me tell you about Rough Greens. Speaking of animals, my animal absolutely loves Rough Greens. Our little dog won't eat her food without Rough Greens being sprinkled on top. And it's really good for her. It's got the essential vitamins and minerals and probiotics and omega oils that just make her friskier and healthier and much more active. Most dogs love it instantly. There are some dogs who take a while to get used to it. So what you want to find out, first of all, is will your dog eat it? Because you don't want to order it and then find that your dog doesn't like it. So they're going to get you a free bag of Rough Greens. All you have to pay for is shipping, and you can try it out. Try it out for your dog and see if they like it. And then, get a full bag. But this free bag you can get for your dog to try out. All you pay, again, is shipping. Just go to roughgreens.com and order it. roughgreens.com or call 833-ROUGH-DOG.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, so I have a question for you, for the audience and for you, and I mean this seriously. What are we going to do with people that won't get vaccinated? Because I can't tell you, I've had just about enough of people saying they're not going to get vaccinated, they won't do it. I just saw a big story where we have National Football League players saying, no, I'm not going to get vaccinated.
Well, they can't play football then.
Right?
That's what we're going to do about them.
We
can't play football.
The story out of Houston, Houston Methodist Hospital, is, I mean, they have let people go. Well, they've been suspended. 178 employees suspended without pay for 14 days for failing to comply with its COVID-19 vaccine requirement. Now, they have 24,947 workers that have been vaccinated against the virus. And the hospital gave them the deadline of this previous Monday to be vaccinated. And, 178 of them not getting vaccinated. 258 of the staff members have received medical or religious exemptions. 332 were granted deferrals because of pregnancy or other reasons. And 117 employees, which I'm sure are part of the 178 suspended employees, are suing the hospital for mandating that the staff must be vaccinated against the coronavirus. So, what are we going to do? I don't know. I mean, I know that Governor Abbott here in Texas just signed a bill that prohibits businesses and government entities from requiring proof of vaccination in the state. But that's not the same thing as mandating getting vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, we're creating another division. Speaking of unity, this great leader we have in charge now is giving this country great unity. I mean, it's going to be, are you just going to be fired and you're just going to go off and be over there in the unvaccinated city? Or are you going to work on, the unvaccinated floor? The elevator doesn't really stop on that floor anymore. You have to take the stairs.
Or we're going to put you in the coronavirus wing. So if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's up to you. But we're going to stick you with the COVID patients.
Yeah. Right.
And then you're going to get it. So you might want
I'm
to get vaccinated.
I'm bathing in ivermectin. So,
Chris in Kentucky. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Good morning. Two things for you on ivermectin. All of these people who are naysayers on how dangerous ivermectin is, I would bet 99.9% of these people go home and give it once a month to their beloved dog, because you realize that that's Heartgard.
Okay.
But number two, and this came out from a source. Her name is Jill Colbin. She's an APRN, married to a physician. She's on Twitter. She puts a lot of great receipts out there. And Pfizer just got a drug released about a month and a half ago that does the same thing that ivermectin does. And look at the timing on that.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting?
Interesting?
Is it for the same purpose as ivermectin, or are they prescribing it
No,
for
it's for COVID.
COVID?
Oh,
wow,
It's for
really?
COVID.
But it's the same stuff.
But the same
It's the same
ingredients?
thing. Well, no. It does the same thing chemically.
Okay.
It prohibits some sort of protein channel or something.
Okay.
So now this is just another fantastical. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Chris.
It is
Appreciate
interesting timing, though, isn't it?
It is interesting. Obviously, they've realized there's something to it.
Yeah. But you need to take this particular drug that's specific for COVID.
And it's for humans, not dogs and cows. So, and I'd probably rather take something designed for humans. Although this vaccine's meant for humans, and it's not sat well with many of them.
I know.
Many of them.
I told you my sister-in-law got number 2 of the Pfizer.
Yeah.
And they told her, probably 24 hours you'd start to feel it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
She's really sick?
Down for the count.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, she was...
Like, what are the symptoms?
She was aching and she didn't want to move and no eating. It was just really, really she said it's tough to explain how bad it feels, and she just doesn't want to move. And I'm opposed to that feeling.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to have that feeling. I've had it for about 2 weeks with whatever crud I have, and I don't want it again from the vaccine.
I know.
And I don't understand why people are getting so sick from the vaccine when they tell us over and over and over, well, it can't give you COVID because it doesn't have COVID in it. Well, then what am I getting? What are we all getting?
Okay.
Why is everybody getting COVID-like symptoms from it? Well, it can't be COVID because COVID's not even in it.
It's the mRNA.
It's a completely different thing. This is the mRNA. That's right, Jeffy. Jeffy knows what it is. It can't give you COVID.
And I will say in the information that they gave her for the Pfizer stuff, it never says what's in it. The Moderna that my father-in-law got from the military, it came with the sheet that they gave him and I took a picture of it. The sheet that they gave him came with what was in it.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, what was in the...
and you took a picture of it?
I did.
All right.
So I have what was in it. The Moderna COVID vaccine contains the following ingredients. Messenger ribonucleic... You know what? I'm just going to send this in and we'll put it up on the screen so you can read it yourself.
Okay.
Because I don't want to...
Yeah. Because that was a bad start.
It's a bad start.
Yeah, we all know that was a bad start. That wasn't.
I don't even know what's in it.
That was not going to be pretty.
No, it's not going to be pretty. But it's not COVID.
Right.
Okay, I know that.
Okay.
All right. So,
all right. So send it, and let's see if they can get it up there before the end of the show.
Not COVID.
There is something that you can take. I don't know if it helps with COVID or anything, but it's called Kexi cookies.
Really?
You can
I
order
wouldn't
them.
know.
Kexi.com. Well, you could know. Just go to Kexi.com, you cheap bastard, and order the cookies.
I have been promised cookies every day. Your stupid new bacon flavor and
Nothing's
caramel.
free, you idiots.
It's bacon and maple.
Whatever.
Bacon and maple.
All I
for
know is I've
Father's
been
Day.
promised. I've been promised one of those cookies all week.
Just go to Kexi.com and we'll send you some. All right, and you'll have it, and then I'll hopefully stop hearing you whine about it every day. But it's got butter, sugar, those kinds of things in it. I'm not sure if they're real effective on COVID, but even if you have COVID,
I'm willing
just
to
eating these
try
cookies is going to make you feel better. I promise.
I'm willing to say, that might work.
It might work. You will. I mean, it's not going to cure any of your symptoms. It's just going to make you care about them less because you just had something really delicious. Kexi.com. KEKSI.com. 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where Spartan Patriot tweets, "Heels up Harris either sounds like she's about to cry." Heels up?
Yeah, that is
Heels up Harris.
Fantastic name
good
for her.
Heels up Harris.
Perfect.
Either sounds like she's about to cry or laughs when it's not appropriate. She's so fake. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Good
yeah.
point.
And trust me, I will be calling her Heels Up Harris.
That's good. Free exercise tweets. Fauci lied. In other news, water is wet. The sun is hot. Yes, many of us do want to see that fraud fiend in prison.
Yeah, they're making a push for him.
What are you going to charge him with? Seriously, what are you going to charge Fauci with?
Being Fauci.
Okay, I'm not sure that's going to get him to prison, but I'm not that.
I'm not
opposed
sure.
to it.
I'm not sure what they were alleging. Some of and that's what my question was earlier the other when they talked about his dealings with China, right, and the gain of function money, and I don't know where, because he claims that he gave the money to this group over here. What they do with it is up to them, right? And of course, they gave the money to the gain of function.
Yeah, and the NIH has contributed to that lab, right? We know that for a fact,
right? And but according, they made the gain of function research illegal, right? So they couldn't give money for that process.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens to it after it goes over there? I don't know. And you have to, he would have to admit, or you'd have to find some, trail of information through, I don't know, some sort of fancy
he's not going to admit
with electronic
anything.
email that he knew that they were giving that money for that particular purpose.
Right.
If that's the case, then I mean,
maybe there's some things we can get him on, get him into prison.
It just needs to go away.
Yeah,
it's just over. That's what we were saying earlier. Just retire.
But Biden's not going to appoint anybody better. They're just going to get worse than Fauci.
I know. That's
kind of an interesting story about an organism that was found frozen in the Siberian tundra. Got another one of these. Tiny little, they're calling them zombies because they were frozen in the Arctic permafrost for 24,000 years. Yeah. 24,000 years. And were recently brought back to life.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? So they're frozen. All that time, you would think, okay, it's dead now, right? Nope. Somehow they brought them back to life. And
have we not seen the documentary Fortitude on Amazon Prime?
Fortitude? I have not seen the documentary Fortitude.
I mean, that's what happens.
I've seen the documentary Jurassic Park, though, and I think there's some promise to that now.
Yes.
Jeez. Of course, it's not 50 million years, but 24,000 years, and then they revived them. Apparently, these organisms have been around for 50 million years, and they've really adapted to life on the planet, and they know how to come back after they've been frozen. Isn't that something?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's an amazing. Life finds a way.
No doubt about it.
Somebody said that recently in a documentary. Well, in the last 30 years or so.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.